What's going on, everybody? Ochoa here from SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com. Hope all is well wherever you are. Hope you're happy, safe, healthy, practicing social distancing, looking to get through these days as soon as we can, and we're thinking of all of you during this time. It is officially one of the best weeks of the NFL calendar. It is NFL Draft Week. That's right. At week's end, the Dallas Cowboys will have a crop of new players, as will the rest of the National Football League, and we're looking obviously to find the best possible players that we can for the Cowboys. This is so important. This is where, to get cliche, championships are won. Sometimes it's players that teams find late in drafts and late in rounds that can really make a difference for them in big-time games and big-time moments. And the Cowboys, obviously, look, they didn't have a first-round draft pick last year, and that made last year a little boring, a little interesting. But thankfully, the Cowboys do have the newest $20 million man in Amari Cooper to show for it. However, they do have a first-round pick this year. The 17th overall selection belongs to the Dallas Cowboys, and at some point on Thursday night, they'll go on the clock in a virtual sense. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Will McClay, Mike McCarthy, they'll all be at home. They'll all be at their own homes. They'll all be on Zoom or Skype or who knows what, getting ready to find the newest member of the Cowboys. And there's a lot of directions the Cowboys can go in, and we've been trying to figure out which one makes the most sense. And as we've sort of made our way through the weeds, it feels like defense is what this pick is going to be. There are three positions that we've isolated that we believe, again, are the most logical fits for the Cowboys with their first-round pick. And the first, obviously, the Cowboys have a needed cornerback. They let Byron Jones walk in free agency, got paid by the Miami Dolphins, and I would put that as probably the number one most likely selection for the Cowboys when it comes to the 17th overall pick. When it comes to names to know, there is Clemson's A.J. Terrell. There is Alabama's Trayvon Diggs, younger brother of newest Buffalo Bills Stephon Diggs. There's also LSU's Christian Fulton. Those are all names that we could see the Cowboys look to when it comes to their first-round pick if they do go corner. Now, if they don't want to go corner, they can stay in the secondary and go safety. Alabama's Xavier McKinney and LSU's Grant Delpit. Those are the two names that if you've been tracking mock drafts like we have at Blogging the Boys since all of this began, those names have been linked to the Cowboys about 5,000 different times. And I don't know that I believe safety is the second biggest need for the Cowboys, but I do think it is a very, very, very strong likelihood. I think the Cowboys might end up going safety when it comes to that first-round pick because, again, they've been looking for a safety for a long time, and I know that maybe you don't think he's the GOAT like I do, but the Cowboys did lose Jeff Heath in free agency to the Las Vegas Raiders. They have holes to fill all over the secondary, and so it does kind of feel like if you wanted to lump that together as one gigantic need, the secondary as a whole, that it makes a lot of sense. Now, the Cowboys do also have a need at edge rush. The Cowboys have DeMarcus Lawrence, and that's great, but outside of that, they have a lot of question marks. Sure, they have veterans like Tyrone Crawford, and somehow, someway, Dorrance Armstrong is now a veteran. The Cowboys spent a first-round pick on an edge rusher now 3 years ago in Taco Charlton, and we all know how that worked out. He is now Byron Jones' teammate with the Miami Dolphins. However, there are options for the Cowboys at edge rush, but they did have success there last year, right? I mean, how can this be a need year in and year out? I mean, the Cowboys managed last year to go out, they flip a 6th-round pick for Robert Quinn, and he puts up 11.5 sacks, but Robert Quinn is now a Chicago Bear, and so the Cowboys have to find a way to get an edge rusher. LSU's Chaisson seems to be the name that makes the most sense. And there's a lot of discussion here. There's a lot of, not dissension, but a lot of debate because a lot of people aren't in love with Chaisson. A lot of people don't really get butterflies in their stomach when they think about him. But that pick seems to me like the one that makes the most sense. And again, it gives the Cowboys some edge rush presence. They do have Randy Gregory and Aldon Smith in all likelihood, although Commissioner Roger Goodell, it is, was reported last week that he will not be making an announcement on their reinstatement. So the Cowboys don't officially know whether they'll have Randy and Aldon, but again, it really does seem like that's going to happen. However, it cannot hurt to have a first-round draft pick, someone to kind of groom and grow in the years to come, someone like Chaisson. I'd put that as the second biggest need for the Cowboys. So for me, I've got cornerback secondary as kind of this number one package. I've got edge rusher as number two. And if you don't want to go Chaisson, I mean, we could see the Cowboys trade back. We could see the Cowboys take maybe a Zach Bond out of Wisconsin. That's kind of a linebacker edge hybrid player that could really do a lot of help for them or provide a lot of help for them, and somebody that could ultimately be maybe not the 17th overall pick, but still their first-round selection. And finally, I don't know that I subscribe to this. I don't know that I believe linebacker to be a need for the Cowboys, but it's possible that they feel like linebacker is a need. Oklahoma's Kenneth Murray is a name that has been linked to the Cowboys several times. And the Cowboys could kind of two birds, one stone this situation with Kenneth Murray. You look at it, if the Cowboys were to draft a true linebacker in Kenneth Murray, it would allow them some flexibility. We've started to see some murmurings, started to see different conversations about the Cowboys maybe playing some more 3-4 fronts under new defensive coordinator Mike Nolan. If they do draft Kenneth Murray, it would allow, say, Jalen Smith the flexibility to go play as an edge rusher, and that would be a little bit interesting. And so I think those are all sort of the top three most likely situations for the Cowboys. However, there could, it's the NFL draft. Wild things could happen. There is the possibility, of course, of the Cowboys trading back in the first round. Many people have floated out the idea of trading back, picking up some extra draft capital, and landing an offensive lineman, say a center, say Cesar Ruiz from Michigan. The last time the Cowboys traded back in the first round was 7 years ago in 2013. They landed a center named Travis Frederick, retired this offseason, and now the Cowboys need to replace Fred Beard, and maybe Cesar Ruiz is the guy to do it. But finally, we have gotten a lot of questions. If the Cowboys are to go offense, what does it mean? What are they going to do if they go offense? If the Cowboys go offense, and if they don't trade back, so if you tell me the Cowboys are drafting an offensive player at 17 overall, as much as, we've heard that this is not something they're seemingly interested in, that to me would suggest that it would be a wide receiver. If the Cowboys are taking an offensive player at 17 overall, it's hard to see how it's not a wide receiver. It's hard to see how it's not a CeeDee Lamb type guy that somehow fell all the way to 17 overall, and the Cowboys just figure, hey, the value's there, let's do it, we'll figure it out later. So I think that those are the situations to watch for as the week unfolds. It's going to be a fun one. And look, make sure you subscribe right here to the official Blogging the Boys YouTube channel, because as there is a lot happening this week, there will be a lot happening right here. We will have reaction videos for you on the channel. We will have film breakdowns coming soon. So this week is going to be fun. It's going to be great. It's going to be jam-packed. It's going to be nonstop. It's the NFL draft, and we're here to have a lot of fun throughout it all. While you're at it, make sure you subscribe to the official Blogging the Boys podcast. Here we'll have you covered with analysis and breakdowns of every draft pick as well. And we'll have a good time while we do all that. Check out bloggingtheboys.com for the latest and greatest in the world of America's team. And do me a favor, have a great day. You know why? Because you deserve it. We'll see you next time.